Hi, Taurus. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for June of 2020. I'm Jamie Kale Miller here with Julia Mijas of Pandora Astrology, and we're ready to talk with you all about relationship stuff, money stuff, career stuff, all the things in your horoscope this month. Hey, Julia, would you like to start with Mercury?
Sure. Well, hey, Taurus. Mercury is going to be going retrograde on June 17th, and Mercury is the planet of communication. This cycle happens a few times a year, so it's nothing that we're not used to. But what it means for you specifically, since it's happening in your third house of communication, it means that communication could be pretty fraught this month for you.
Hmm.
So, what does that mean? It might mean that you say something that gets misunderstood very easily, or
Mm.
that you're speaking with somebody about something and you both just walk away from the conversation with totally different understandings of what you guys just talked about. So, pay attention to that. Venus also starts the month retrograde in Gemini, which corresponds with your second house of money. And Venus herself also rules money. So just watch out that at the beginning of this month that you don't spend money on something that you regret later, because you like the finer things in life, Taurus. But on June 25th, Venus goes direct, so that will help out quite a bit, in that arena. And Juno has already gone direct as well. That's the other relationship asteroid. So our overall relationship retrospection period is definitely easing up now. Now, the last planet I want to talk about is Mars, because Mars is going to start the month in Pisces, which corresponds with your 11th house. And Mars is the planet of energy. And wherever we have Mars is where we are also maybe a bit more subject to having conflict in our life as well. So in your 11th house, that can represent friends. It can also represent any groups that you're a part of, such as a professional association or maybe a bowling group or, wherever you sort of find yourself among many. And when Mars is in this, it means that we might be a little bit more inclined to get into fights with our friends, especially if miscommunications are also happening around this time.
Mm.
But on June 27th, Mars is going to leave your 11th house and enter your 12th house, and it'll stay there for the rest of the month. So that means that a lot of if you're feeling a little bit angry about things, you're going to be a lot more inclined to sort of keep it to yourself.
Mm. Well, there are also a couple of eclipses happening. And the first of these is a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And so that shows the sun here in Gemini in your second house and the moon in Sagittarius in your eighth house. And this is the financial axis of houses. So an eclipse tends to bring up some pretty strong emotion. And this one also involves a very strong placement of Mars squaring those the sun and the moon. And so chances of arguments about money are pretty great, and figuring out how you want to assert yourself without, blowing up the town is certainly recommended. And finding the balance between, what's yours and what belongs to your partner or is shared in a partnership. And then finding, where is the best place to draw the lines and the boundaries in a healthy way. So that's a pretty big deal right around June 5th. And then later in the month, we have got another eclipse on the 20th. You can always find out more about these eclipses in the June 2020 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology, where we've got videos about them that say a lot more than we can say here. The second eclipse has the sun and the moon getting together in early Cancer, which falls in your third house. And that reemphasizes the communication themes that Julia was talking about, with Mercury going retrograde in Cancer and the Gemini influences this month. So communication is a really big theme mixed together with emotion. So communication often sort of flows along a river of emotion. When we connect with other people, we talk with them, we feel too, and hopefully we feel sympathetic with the person that we're talking with and connected to them. But when Mercury goes retrograde in Cancer, all bets are off, and so it could be a difficult month for communication, and this eclipse just heaps on those themes. So pay careful attention to the emotions that you convey when you communicate under this eclipse around the 20th. Now, there's a third thing that I want to tell you about, which is that there is a hot degree created in January when Saturn and Pluto conjuncted. And I want to let you know how this may impact you, especially if you're a Taurus riser rather than a Taurus sun. Now, that hot degree was created when Saturn and Pluto conjuncted, and it fell in 22 degrees of Capricorn, which is your ninth house. And that hot degree really has a lot to do with the pandemic that's going on. And so it's really come to symbolize the pandemic. And that hot degree is being triggered several times this year by Jupiter and by Mars. We've made a video about it, about the coronavirus pandemic, and you'll find that in our on our YouTube channel, probably in the 2020 news playlist. And so where this is going to land for you is in your ninth house, which is the arena of your beliefs, your faith, your worldview. How you respond to the pandemic when its flare-ups happen, and those dates you can find in the other video about the pandemic on our 2020 news playlist. How you respond is going to be very tied to your beliefs and your worldview. And so look for some pretty intense experiences when that degree gets hit around those themes. Okay, I think that's everything we have for you, Taurus. If you wanted to get a reading this month, I would definitely look for something that can cover both communication themes and financial themes. And that would probably be a plain old natal and transit reading where you could get all of those things covered. And until next month, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye.